Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is problem 1855. Maximum distance between a pair of values. This is a medium problem and here I will show you my thought process and efficient solution. We are given two non-increasing integer arrays nums1 and nums2. So let's say that we're given this input. We need to get the maximum distance of any valid pair. And if there are no valid pairs, we return 0 instead. Up here is a requirement for a valid pair. We need to have an index in nums1 that's smaller or equal to some index in nums2, and the corresponding element in nums1 is smaller or equal to the element in nums2. The distance is given by j minus I. So let's say that we are looking at this pair, 55 and 5. We know that this is not a valid pair because the element in nums1 is greater than the element in nums2, so we are not meeting this requirement. The solution here is that we can take this pair. This is index 2, this is index 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here given that 2 is smaller than 4 and 5 is equal to 5, this is a valid pair. And the distance is given by 4 minus 2. So the result in this case is 2. This happens to be the maximum distance of any valid pair, so we return 2. So let's see my thought process. Whenever I see this word, I'm automatically thinking about iterating every possible pair. The thing is that this requires big O of n squared and complexity, and here n can be up to 10 to the power of 5. This to the power of 2 is a very large number which we can't handle, so we need to think about something else. So my next idea was to use binary search. Why? Well, because here we have a small hint. This array nums2 is already sorted, and this is a requirement for binary search. In case you know how this works, let's say that we have this array and the target is number 3. So we want to get the corresponding index for this element. Remember that this is sorted, in this case in decreasing order. Here we have a 3 at index 2. The question is, how do we get this index? If we go through each element one by one, we are checking what's the position of number 3 in big O of n time complexity. But this is very inefficient, that's why we are using binary search. So what we can do instead is split this array in two parts and check where do we have the target, number 3. In this case, the target is on the right. So we can forget about left, and now we do the same with the two elements. We split this in two parts and check where do we have the target. Here it's in the left. So we can forget about the right part, and now we have only one element left. That's how we get the corresponding position for this element in big O of log n time complexity, which is more efficient. So we can go through the elements of nums1 one by one, starting from this one. So here is the I pointer. And every time we can run a binary search on nums2 to check what's the furthest index, which corresponds to an element that's greater or equal to nums at I. For every binary search, we need low and high bounds. Here, the low bound is given by wherever we have the I pointer. Why? Well, because I has to be smaller or equal to j. So as a minimum, we can pick this index in nums2. So low is here at index 0. And the high bound or the right bound is here at the last index. So every time we take the midpoint and we want to round up the value, so the midpoint is here, and we are checking if the current value at I in nums1 is smaller or equal to the value of nums2, in this case 10. Given that 55 is greater than 10, we should move the midpoint to the left, meaning we should increase the corresponding value for the midpoint. And the way to do this is we can move the right pointer or the high bound to wherever we have mid minus 1. Now low is here at index 0. Right is here at index 1 and the midpoint is at index 1. So we are looking at this number. Given that 55 is still greater than the current number, we should move the midpoint to the left. So we need to move right to whatever we had mid minus 1. Now given that low is equal to right, we end the loop here and the result is low, in this case 0. So we take the current result 0 minus the current index 0 and the result is 0. This means that this is a valid pair and the distance is 0. So we have a result which is initially 0 because we are looking for the maximum possible distance for any valid pair. And here we need to keep the maximum between what we have already, 0, and the result of this valid pair, which is 0, so we keep 0. Next, the I pointer is here. This is the range for the binary search. We can do the same and the result stays at 0. Next, the I pointer is here. This is the range for the binary search, and if we do the same, we get 2. And given that 2 is greater than 0, the new result is 2. In this scenario, the result stays at 2. And finally here the result stays at 2, so we return this. And by doing this, now we are solving the problem in big O of n times log m. Why? Well, because we have to go through the elements in nums1 and each time we need to run a binary search on nums2. Every binary search requires log m time complexity, and space complexity in this case would be big O of 1. Now, this time complexity is technically enough for 10 to the power 5 elements in both arrays. So this will work, but it's not the optimal solution. I will leave this implementation for you, and next I will show you how to solve this with a greedy approach. So let's see how this works. Let's say that we are using an I pointer for nums1 and shape for nums2. So we are looking at these two elements initially. Given that 55 is smaller than 100 and the current index is smaller or equal to the shape pointer, well, this means that this is a valid pair. So we can say that the result is initially 0. And every time we keep the maximum between what we have here and the distance for the current pair. In this case, 0 minus 0 is 0, which is equal to 0, so we keep 0. Now we are looking at this pair, and given that 55 is greater than 20, maybe we could try with a smaller number in nums1, which means that we can move the I pointer one step to the right. Next we are looking at this pair, and the number from nums1 is still greater than the number from nums2, so we could move the I pointer once again one step to the right. Now we are looking at this pair, and 5 is smaller than 20. So this might look like a valid pair, but it isn't because I is greater than shape. So this is not valid. What we can do here is move the shape pointer one step to the right. Now 5 is smaller than 10 and I is equal to shape. So this is a valid pair. We can update the result with the maximum between 0 and the current shape pointer 2 minus the I pointer 2. 2 minus 2 is 0, the maximum between 0 and 0 is 0. And we are looking for the furthest distance, so we can move the shape pointer one step to the right. Now we are looking at this pair, which is also valid, and the distance is given by the shape pointer 3 minus the I pointer 2. This is 1, which is greater than 0, so the new result is 1. And once again, we are looking for the furthest distance, so we move the shape pointer. Next, we are looking at this pair, I is smaller than shape, and the corresponding numbers are equal, so this is valid. And the distance is given by 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, index 4 minus index 2. This is 2, which is greater than 1, so the new result is 2. Now if we move the shape pointer, we are out of bounds, so the result is 2. And by doing this, we are solving the problem in big O of n plus m time complexity, which is the optimal solution, and big O of 1 space complexity. So with this in mind, now let's see how to code this up. First, n is the length of nums1, m is the length of nums2. We can say that the I and j pointers are 0, 0, and the result is initially 0 because we're looking for the maximum possible distance. So we say while I is smaller than n and j is smaller than m, meaning while we are in bounds, we are checking if I is smaller or equal to j and nums1i is smaller or equal to nums to J, because if this is true, we have a valid pair. So we can say that the result is the maximum between what we have in the result and the distance of the current pair, which is given by J minus I. And we are looking for the furthest distance, so we can move the J pointer one step to the right. And just to be clear, here we try larger range. Now, if nums1i is strictly greater than nums2j, this means that we could try a smaller number from nums1, so we can move the I pointer one step to the right. Here we try smaller n1. Now, else if I is strictly greater than j, we can move the j pointer one step to the right. Why? Well, because remember that j has to be greater or equal to I. Here we try larger j. And that's it. After all of this, we can return result. So let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's very efficient. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.